chapter 17, verse 1. This in itself destroys Islam. 17, verse 1. Just that verse itself, if you read it carefully, destroys Islam and shows Muhammad is a fraud.
Here we go.
If you read it carefully.
Glorified be he who carries his servant by night from the inviolable place of worship to the far distant place of worship, neighborhood whereof we have blessed, that we might show him of our tokens. Lo, he, only he, is the hearer, the seer.
Okay, guys. First question for the Muslims. Who is the servant that was taken by night? Now you're going to say Muhammad. Prove it. Prove to me that servant is Muhammad. Number two, he was taken from Masjid al-Haram. Where in the world is Masjid al-Haram, the inviolable mosque? Where in the world is that located? And then he was taken to Masjid al-Aqsa, the furthest mosque. Where is Masjid al-Aqsa? Can you show me from the verse itself what Masjid al-Aqsa is, what Masjid al-Haram is, who the servant was, and what night was he taken on this journey? The reason why you Muslims have to answer from the Quran, or if you don't answer, you prove the Quran is a fraud, is a lie. This book explains everything in detail. Detailed explanation of everything. Chapter 12, verse 111, 6114, 1689. If the Quran keeps telling me this book explains everything in detail, should we expect to find chapter 17, verse 1 to give us all the details necessary to know who the servant is and what these mosques are and where they're located?
Well, one of the key elements of this claim that the Quran is unsurpassable is how amazingly clear it is. It's so incredibly, shockingly clear that it could only come from Allah, because no one could write a book that is this clear and that explains things in such detail. And yet passage after passage after passage we go to, they can't figure out what in the world it means. You have to go to commentaries and other books that come from centuries later to figure out what in the world this stuff means. Doesn't tell us who it is, what happened, what he did, whether it's a miracle. Doesn't tell us anything about that. It's very strange to make these claims about Islam, my friends.
What gets worse for the Muslims, and I hope they're hearing us, David, and take up us on the channel. Surprise, David. Now, let me show you another problem. I want you guys to follow the pronouns of 17, verse 1. I'm going to read it now in Yusuf Ali. Glory to who did take his servant for a journey by night from the sacred mosque to the farthest mosque, whose precincts we did bless, in order that we might show him some of our signs. Show him, guys, don't forget that pronoun. We're going to show him some of our signs, for he is the one who heareth and seeth all things. You're in trouble, because it says, the speaker, the plural we, says we want to show him our miracles, for he is the seer and knows all things. Who is that? If it's Allah, who is showing Allah miracles? It says we show him miracles. He is the seeing and the one who knows all things. If that's Allah, who is showing Allah miracles? Now, if you go back and say it's Muhammad, you just said Muhammad is omniscient and omnipresent, because it says show him our signs, for he is the seeing, the seer, and knows all things. So wait, if it's Muhammad, he's omniscient, omnipresent. If it's Allah, how can someone other than Allah show Allah miracles, David? Help me out here.
Yeah, you got some problems there.
So, you see just this verse itself, folks. Game over. Surprise, Muslims. Surprise, Asarkati. This verse is a nightmare. It actually destroys Islam, showing the Quran is incoherent, unintelligible, and it's not written in perfect Arabic, and it's not perfectly eloquent because it fails to provide necessary details, and it's written in such a way which either suggests Allah is one of many gods, or Muhammad is divine and he's Allah's partner. Even the way it's written, glorified be he. David, I want to know, isn't this supposedly Allah speaking? Allah's the one saying, glorified be he. But wait, who's speaking? Allah. So Allah saying, glorified be he, glorified be me. So Allah's worshiping himself? Oh, okay, guys, you see how many holes in one verse? Folks, that's one verse. You begin with Allah glorifying himself, glorified be he, but that's Allah supposedly speaking, who took his servant by night. But then it switches so that we may show him our signs. Wait, who's the we here? That's Allah. Who's the he there? That's Allah. So the we is Allah, the he is Allah, the he is the we is the he, and they're trying to convince us this is not incoherent babble. Yeah, so we saw the nightmare of 17 verse 1. Yep. And the woes are just beginning. Now let's say we go to the Hadith literature. The end of Islam. No matter what you do, you stick with the Quran, you destroy Islam. You go outside of the Quran, destroy Islam. Do you know why? Here's why. According to the narrations like Ibn Kathir and Ibn Ishaq, all of them, they agree that this refers to Muhammad being taken from the Kaaba to the temple in Jerusalem. Just like the Kaaba is an actual building, and he supposedly left from there. Baytul Maqdis, the house that is holy, Masjid al-Aqsa, the furthest mosque, is supposed to be the actual temple of Jerusalem. Now, David, again, can you help me? Isn't it true that the temple of Jerusalem, built by Solomon, was destroyed 586 BC, and the temple, the second temple, was destroyed by the Romans with Titus the general in 70 AD. So if I'm right, what temple did Muhammad enter in when there was no temple in Jerusalem?
I mean, if he's riding a magic donkey, maybe it was a magic temple.
That's it, man. I'm stumped. But I want everyone to understand, even the timing shows there's a contradiction in Bukhari. So
all right.
It up there,
oh, I can pull this passage up right now. Here we go.
Could you read it, and then maybe you can highlight why this is confusion?
Sahih al-Bukhari, 75:17. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The night Allah's messenger was taken for a journey from the sacred mosque, al-Kaaba, 3 persons came to him while he was sleeping in al-Masjid al-Haram before the divine revelation was revealed to him. One of them said, "Which of them is he?" The middle angel said, "He is the best of them." The last angel said, "The best of them." Only that much happened on that night, and he did not see them till they came on another night, i.e. after the divine revelation was revealed to him. Fath al-Bari. So, Sam, are you saying that part there that put this off to another distant time is not in this hadith? It's added from another source?
Yes. Here's the dishonesty of this particular translation of Bukhari. The translator inserted the words, i.e., included example, after the divine revelation was revealed to him, because he's not getting it from the Arabic hadith. The Arabic's right there. Arab speakers, you can read it right there. He's getting it from the commentary on Bukhari by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, who's trying to make sense of the chronology. Because, guys, you understand the problem? If you read it as it is, the night journey took place before Muhammad was given revelation, before Muhammad became a prophet, and during that time, before prophethood, they appeared to him on more than one occasion and took him to the night journey.
What this means is, keep in mind, this is Sahih al-Bukhari. You know, modern Muslims who are putting this out have to go to commentaries and things like that to try to fix what this hadith says, because this hadith shows that the story is completely incoherent, right? Now, if they were not trying to deceive, isn't that something you put in brackets?
100%.
You either put it down there as a footnote. You don't just insert it into the text like that, unless you put it in brackets and clearly indicate that you're inserting additional commentary here. Here, it just reads as part of the text, like this is what the hadith says. That is outright fabrication and deception. What else should we expect from these guys? We've been saying it. We've been saying it. It's nothing but a giant mountain of lies. And if you dare to point any of this out, Muslims say you're the liar. This is what is this religion, man?
What does it say to you Muslims that your greatest scholars, who are supposed to be the most pious, remember, the more you know Islam, the more pious, the more you're like Allah and His Messenger. They have to do this to your religion, deceive, connive, twist, misinterpret the very accusations you make about Jews and Christians when it comes to the Bible. If your religion needs deceit, trickery, lies, deception, falsehoods, in order for it to be believed, then that is a sure sign your religion is from the father of lies, Satan, and you need to turn to the God of truth, the God who said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me, Jesus Christ, your only hope of salvation.